So let's talk about my trade plan for 2022. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. I have not done a trading challenge in quite some time. We had a lot of people, especially on YouTube, ask me for some form of like small account challenge. One of the things that you have to understand is just with everything it is that we have going on, not just with the stock market, but with real estate, just all the different businesses that we have going on, it just wouldn't be it wouldn't be a value for me, right? To try to trade with $1,000. One of the things that I wanted to share with you is I wanted to start a trading challenge that I feel like would be actually something to follow up with and something of value to all of you guys, right? Everyone starts at different account sizes. Everyone starts with different experience levels and how it is that they make sense of the stock market. One of the things that I wanted to challenge for 2022 is very simple. Can we beat the average growth of the stock market, which is about 10% on average per year? So can I beat that with just trading a handful of stocks? Now, the way that I am setting up my trading challenge does not mean, let me repeat this, it does not mean that you have to do the exact same. This is a goal. This is something that I'm wanting to work towards. And reflecting, as we approach the end of 2022 for this upcoming year, I can kind of like look back and then see how it is that I did with my, overall performance versus market performance. A lot of you guys really like when I keep things simple, and I have a big focus on, oversold stocks. And we have a lot of people that watch our videos that maybe have full-time jobs, are students, right? Maybe want to learn how to trade, but they don't have the time to do it every single day. And especially maybe they don't have the time to do it daily, as in daily day trading, right? My daily live trading sessions, those will not change. That's something that I do every single day with the Learn Plan Profit group. I just wanted to start a trading challenge solely for swing trading. My day trading account and the trading account that you see me trade live with, if you're part of Learn Plan Profit every single morning, that will stay the same. This trading challenge will be something that will be exclusive to the Learn Plan Profit group, and it will be especially focused to those that have full-time jobs, full-time students, and that simply want to do this on the side and want to challenge themselves to see if they can also beat maybe market performance and or time market performance. I think that's the great thing. It's setting a goal, but making sure that you work towards it. This trading challenge is going to be super simple, and I'm just going to break it down for you. And you can share down in the description your thoughts on what you think about my trading challenge and how you plan to take on 2022. So my starting balance is going to be $25,000 in this account. Again, I am not going to focus on day trading. So I will not intend to take advantage of any trade and then sell it within the same date. Now, if I choose to buy, let's say, the dip on Facebook, and then Facebook all of a sudden shoots up, right? And it's approaching previous resistance levels on the 4-hour time frame, of course, I'm not going to hesitate to lock in profits. But my intention is never to day trade. So I just want to make sure that we're aware of that. I have a 4-to-1 risk ratio, meaning that I need to make sure that every time that I choose to take advantage of a stock, that I have at least 4% upside for every 1% downside. Again, if you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group, we talk about the golden ratio all the time. It is so important making sure that every time that you choose to take advantage of an opportunity, that the upside potential outweighs the downside, which is why I have that 4-to-1 ratio. I am solely focusing on swing trades, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. I have a big focus on focusing on oversold stocks, meaning that I like buying the dip on stocks during earnings, when a lot of, like we've seen before, a lot of tech stocks have recently pulled on back when they reported earnings, maybe because they missed guidance or missed expectation. This causes the stock to drop, where people like myself, at least for 2022, I will solely focus this account on buying the dip and averaging up into it when it makes sense. Again, being able to make the difference as the stock simply recovers. That is my main focus for 2022. Buying the dip on bullish stocks that are consistently indicating signs of an uptrend. This might sound boring for a lot of you. But if you think about it, it keeps things super simple. And especially when you're just trying to get started and just trying to learn how to do something, keeping it simple can almost be more effective than overcomplicating it and chasing a stock every single morning and not even getting that same end result that you were expecting. So when talking about those oversold stocks, one of the things that I will always stay true to is position size and making sure that if I choose to buy the dip, right, if you're part of LPP, we talk about the 3 stages of a reversal: rejection, consolidation, confirmation, and understanding that it would never make sense to be fully invested in a stock that's still selling off and or not indicating signs of a recovery. And one of the things that I wanted to implement into my trade plan for 2022, at least for my swing trade plan, is with the $25,000, at most, I will never be more invested than 50% per trade. So an example that I wanted to give you is I will never be invested more than 3 stocks at a time. This is a commitment that I am making to keep things super simple, right? How many of you guys have ever, had a handful of different stocks that you guys are trading, right? It's kind of difficult to kind of keep up with all the different movements as the market's going all these different places, right? I'm never going to be invested at once more than 3 different stocks. So an example I can give you is if I'm invested in TQQQ, in Facebook, and in Apple, at most, I can be invested at $12,500 with the example that I start at $25,000. So at most, my largest position when getting started is going to be at $12,500, which is, again, 50% of my starting balance. The reason I'm doing this is I want to lead by example. I feel like a very common mistake that beginner traders make, and feel free to share your experience down below, reflect on your 2021 experience. But a very common mistake that I see beginner traders make is they try to always buy the dip on a stock with everything that they have in their account. And if things don't go according to plan, as most likely they don't when you're just getting started, things go south and you become an emotional mess, right? You become irrational, you become emotional, and you just want to give up. You become discouraged. I don't want you to go through that, right? Especially if you're part of Learn, Plan, Profit, I want to lead by example. And I think that's something, at least the step that you can take in the right direction, can be managing your position size and managing the dollar amount that you put behind every single trade. And something that we can do, an effort of that, is never be invested more than 50%. I set up a 50% cap. You can have a more conservative route and do 30%, 25%. You can have a more aggressive route of 75%. Shoot, you can be 100% invested if you do well with it, right? My challenge to you is to look and reflect at your 2021 trading experience and see what you can do better. And I think that could be a step in the right direction for a lot of beginner traders. You can let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. My max loss, something that we always talk about, risk management, right? At most, behind every single trade, right? Let's say I'm fully invested. I cannot lose more than $1,000 per trade. So if that is my max loss, and you might bring up the situation where, maybe I bought in too early and it continues to dip and I'm approaching a support level, but I'm down $1,000, my max loss will always be pre-planned where I decide to enter, and I will always have to cut losses once I hit that $1,000 mark. No exceptions. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you don't want to get to that $1,000 loss, then guess what? Don't buy early. Don't buy before confirmation. You need to do everything beforehand to not get to that $1,000 loss. If not, that $1,000 loss is my exit plan. It's my worst case scenario, and you need to come up with your own max loss. It doesn't have to be $1,000. It can be $100. It can be a percentage for all I care, right? Set a goal and set an exit plan that regardless of what happens, that you will always have to cut losses if you get to that point. So that should always empower you and encourage you that if you see yourself cutting losses, that means that you're doing something wrong beforehand before even buying into it. So it should be a direct reflection of your risk management, your position size, and your ability to buy the dip on a stock that maybe keeps dipping. At that point, maybe don't buy the dip if you continue to experience that same mistake. No exception, $1,000 loss. And again, like I said, I will never be more invested than 3 stocks at a time. That doesn't mean that I only have 3 stocks in my watch list. That means that at a time, I will identify 3 opportunities that I choose to take advantage of because I see them to be opportunities that are most worthy to swing trade. Again, I only have 3. This would really encourage me to be super, super selective. That might be too few for some of you. That might be too much. Maybe some of you just want to focus on 1. Maybe some of you want to focus on 5. 3 is my goal. It's my focus. I want to keep it simple for all of those that are watching. For all of those that are Learn, Plan, Profit, I want to showcase that you don't need to overcomplicate trading. You can keep it simple. And in reality, you can probably beat all these traders that are trying to trade every single day. Just something to take into consideration. Again, no day trading. And a question you might have is, well, how is this going to take place, right? If you're part of Learn, Plan, Profit, my daily live trading sessions will not change, right? That is something that I will always offer for the Learn, Plan, Profit group. This $25,000 account that I'm starting off with, what I want to showcase is how you can have a very relaxed approach to trading, that you don't need to watch your stock every single day. I want all the planning and preparation done beforehand. And I mean that, right? It's kind of like when you initiate a business transaction. All the calculated risk and planning is done prior to choosing to take advantage of an opportunity that will end up making you money in the future. The same thing with every single trade. Every single time that you decide to buy a stock, your entry, exit, stop loss, the understanding of how much you have at risk, how much potential you have, or how much potential profit you have to potentially make, all of that needs to be pre-planned. All of your alerts, all of the indicators that you're going to use as reference, everything needs to be pre-planned behind every single trade. All we are trying to encourage you to do within this challenge is structure. It's to hold you accountable. I'm not going to hold you accountable, right? Especially if you're not part of the Learn, Plan, Profit group. If you're part of LPP and you want me to hold you accountable, I will do so. But if you're doing this on your own, you need to understand that within the stock market, there's a very low barrier of entry. Anyone can sign up and start trading. You need to hold yourself accountable and stay disciplined and be empowered to say no to potential opportunities if they don't meet your criteria. So again, all the planning is done prior. My entry, exit, stop loss, and why I see value, all done prior, and all the alerts are set beforehand. So I can set those alerts on the weekend when I have time. And I can go through the day and enjoy my day. If I get an alert that, hey, TQQQ is dropping below a price point that I set, my job is to follow up with it when I get alerted, not just because I want to. Our job is not to watch paint dry. Our job is to be effective, to take action when it makes sense. So again, it's doing the work on the back end that will benefit you in the future. So make sure that when you set alerts, don't just set alerts because you can. Set alerts at significant price levels that make sense. If it drops below a specific price point that you potentially want to get into, that it breaks above a specific price point that you might want to either get into or get out of, right? All of these alerts are so useful and so effective, but people overlook it because anyone can set alerts. Yeah, everyone doesn't really use alerts in an effective manner. Alerts are so useful. You just have to know when to set them. And then again, a small watch list. Although I might only be invested in 3 stocks at a time, I might have a watch list of about 5 to 10 stocks, and I can add or remove different stocks. My focus is to be micro-focused on the main stocks that I see value in. Some weeks I might not take any trades. Other weeks I might take multiple trades, right? I might average up a lot depending if the direction's in my favor. My job is to take advantage of an opportunity when it makes sense, not just when I want to. And then when it comes down to the follow-ups, right? Within Learn, Plan, Profit, I'm going to create a subgroup chat, which I'm going to actually open up today. And my goal, my focus is to follow up on a weekly basis and or on a bi-weekly basis. And the reason behind that is I want to showcase that you don't need to be watching these stocks every single day. If my intention is to buy a stock today and sell it in a month or 2 months when it recovers, why am I wasting time watching it for 8 hours a day, every single day? It's counterproductive. We're not here to be counterproductive. You're not here to be counterproductive. The focus for 2022 is to be efficient and be effective. So weekly follow-ups within the Learn Plan Profit Discord chat, and it's going to have a separate channel that will be for the 2022 trading challenge. The goal, like I said, is to beat the average growth of the stock market. It's not going to surprise me that if in the first couple of months I end up surpassing the 10%. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to break my rules or break my criteria. My goal is to stay consistent with what it is that I'm doing every single day, to only take advantage of an opportunity when it makes sense, and to lock in profits at overbought levels to prepare for worst case scenario. If things pull back, I can choose to take advantage of that opportunity once again. The example that I wanted to give you is, you might be asking, well, what would be an example of one of these stocks? You guys literally hear me talk about this ETF all the time. This is not a recommendation. I don't care if you see value in it. I'm just showcasing you. This is one of the ETFs that I'm paying attention to. It's a triple leverage ETF. It decays over time. If you don't like it, don't touch it. It follows the NASDAQ market. And what I wanted to show you is, in the past year, can you imagine or guess how much it's gained in percentage growth in just the past year? 1 year, 365 days. We can use this little tool and we could see that on December 28th, right? It was right around here. And where we're at right now, that is a 96% return. And that's with all the dips that it took and all the recoveries, and all the dips that it took and all the recoveries, all the dips that it took and all the recoveries. Right? That's 100% with one ETF. That is a perfect example that if I would have just held this ETF, I would have beat most day traders' performance this year. This is just one, right? And it's not. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to double my trading count next year with swing trades. My goal is to beat the market. The market's 10%. I want to showcase that you can keep trading simple. You can understand every opportunity that you choose to take advantage of, be calculated, and still beat market performance. And one of my favorite questions is, why don't hedge funds follow in this footstep? Why don't hedge funds, how do hedge funds only grow their accounts 15 or 20% a year? How does the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett, 15 to 20% a year? It is so different. When you're value investing in quality companies with hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, it is a completely different approach. They're trading with, other people's money with huge firms, right? We're focusing on our series of trades that also can be viewed as higher risk, right? TQQQ is a triple leverage ETF. It offered, right, if I would have just bought it last year and held it, it offered nearly 100% growth. That's not talking about any trades. I could sell the highs, I can buy the dips, which means that I would potentially even make more than that 96%. So this is just to showcase that you don't need to overcomplicate things to beat overall market performance. You're not trading with hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, right? You don't have to report what it is that you're doing to other people. Your job is to keep things simple and to choose to take advantage of the opportunities that make sense to you. And I think that's the beautiful thing behind it, at least for myself. The goal behind 2022 is just making sure that there is an intention behind every single trade. Everyone has a goal to make money. That's not special, but it's making sure that what you do today and the planning and preparation, all the work that you put in today, ends up with the outcome of actually presenting that end result of, year over year, better results than what the stock market tends to experience on an average year, right? If you look at the NASDAQ market, I think it gained about 20%, 22% in the past year, if I'm not mistaken, at least for the NASDAQ index. So I'm very excited for this challenge. I hope that you guys are too. Again, the weekly follow-ups are going to begin in the first week of 2022 within our Learn Plan Profit group. I wanted to offer you guys, if you feel like you are ready and if you like this approach. Yes, I'm still going to be trading live every day. Yes, you still get access to the A to Z video lesson library. You get 24/7 access to our private Discord chat. This is just an additional value and additional challenge that we are adding to our Learn Plan Profit 2.0 team. And if this is something that you want to be a part of, again, it is only and exclusively to our Learn Plan Profit 2.0 team. We have one of our biggest sales ever. It's $100 off, and it's the first link in the description if you are ready to join. if you like the way that I break things down, if you are excited with the structure that we have set up for 2022, if you're a student, if you're a full-time worker, and you simply want to test the waters in a very simple way, as with this simple approach for 2022, I would love to welcome you to the Learn Plan Profit Group. And again, one of our biggest sales ever, $100 off, and that's that first link in the description. I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope and wish you guys an amazing, happy holidays, happy New Year's, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. I hope that you guys can consider dropping a thumbs up and maybe subscribing as well.